salvation, and happiness. It's your season. It's your time. God has plans for your life to prosper you and to give you hope and a future. Join us and learn how God's love and power can bring hope and happiness to your life. This is your opportunity for motivation, encouragement, and purpose.
Are you ready for motivation, inspiration, and a good time? Get ready for the Tish Barnhardt Show. Real issues, relatable topics, and real people. This is your time to learn how to navigate through life's ups and downs. Get motivated as we open up about personal struggles and triumphs so you can live the incredible life you're destined to live. Just remember, God has plans for your life, plans to give you hope and a future. Victory and breakthrough are just around the corner. Now let's get ready for a brand new segment of the Tish Barnhardt Show.
Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. I want to thank you guys for tuning back in with us tonight for another episode of the Tish Barnhardt Show. Well, listen, tonight we have a guest who, in the person of Dr. Lashawnda Shiree, who I was drawn to a Facebook post that she had made, and it was talking about domestic violence, the elephant in the room, and quotes, confessions of the ex-preacher's wife. So I want to bring to the stage tonight Dr. Lashawnda. How are you tonight, my friend?
Great. How are you?
I am doing fabulous tonight. You are looking awesomely great over there today. Okay, with the glam. Go ahead now. We love it. We love it. So listen, I had reached out to you about the video that you had did because, of course, for this show, we like to talk about real life issues, that we have that we can bring to the forefront to bring healing and life to others that may be going through some of those same things. And so one of the things that I noticed that you mentioned in there was that it wasn't the affair that embarrassed you. It wasn't breaking up two homes that embarrassed you, but it was this particular thing. Could you tell us what that is?
The particular thing that embarrassed me the most was the fact that my ex-husband, he tried to kill me. Normally, I could keep things concealed. I kept all the domestic violence accidents, concealed. But this particular time, it got out in the community. My family got involved. My dad actually called the police. And everyone in my community knew what was going on. And that embarrassed me the absolute most when my cover was pulled. That's what was embarrassing. Yes, ma'am.
Wow. You said when your cover was pulled. So explain to us like what that means. What was actually pulled from there?
Well, when you go back and listen to my testimony on my YouTube channel, I explained to everyone that me and my ex-husband was a byproduct of an affair. He was married, I was married, and we decided to divorce our spouses and get married. Everybody kept saying, she gonna reap what she sowed. She gonna reap what she sowed. And I just was a firm believer that because he and I both continuously would say to each other, whatever we reap, we're going to reap it together and we're going to reap it through God. So to know that the words that everybody was saying that I was going to see the exact same thing over again, it was too much. Again, me and his wife we're not best friends, but we were friendly. And in conversation, she had shared that he was abusive to her. And I just thought he was just too beautiful and fine to be right. So to know that it was actually happening, that she would know that it was happening, it was just too embarrassing for me. Yeah, I was over embarrassed.
Wow. And that is something because we do have to be careful, with some of the things that we do say out of our mouths too. But not only that, we also do know that the Bible does tell us about, reaping what we sow and things. And so, I think it's something where you guys said, hey, you know what, we're going to reap this thing together, like y'all in it together.
Yes.
And that's cool. But I'm telling you, that is amazing stuff right there. To be able to come out and really just share this because there are so many other, people like yourselves, that have gotten into relationships and things based on, things may not have been right, in your own relationship. And then you see something else on the other side and it looks a little greener, and so we decide that we're going to try that. And so in your case, like, hey, you know what, like you just said, he too fine, honey, to be, doing some violence or domestic violence. He too fine to be doing that, So at what point, in your relationship with him, did it really sit in that, you know what, wow, she's really right?
It really started into me on this particular incident in 2020. I had gotten into just a minor dispute, and this time the violence, it was more than violence to me. It was almost as if you were trying to end my life. And
Wow.
I struggled with that because we did get back together after that. But the Lord, signified that for me. That's exactly what's going to be happening. That exactly what was happening to me at the end in the dream. When I had a dream, and in the dream there was a warning that if I wanted to live, this time I couldn't go back. And I was like, so he was trying to kill me for real.
Wow.
That's when it just resonated to me, like he had the power in that moment to end my life. And because of his makeup as a narcissist, he would have been okay with it. He would have told himself that I did something to him. My children would have been without a mother because he would have thought that was okay. He would have made himself okay with it. Yeah.
Wow. And something else that you had said was that, oftentimes God will create a situation to be able to deliver you out of it. And in this case, you were able to walk out of here, unharmed, still living. And then guess what? Now you're doing your thing. Now you're doing your thing. Snap, snap. You are doing your thing. And so I'm so excited, really, to have you on the show tonight and just being, vulnerable and real and the transparency. I love it because I am finding that oftentimes, whenever we go through these different things in life, we don't want to share it with anybody. We clam up and we keep this stuff on the inside of us and we do not want to share. But I definitely appreciate you sharing tonight with us. We're going to go ahead and take a commercial break and we'll be back in a moment.
There's nothing better than being inspired and renewed daily by the power of God. In Morning Tea with the King, author Tish Barnhardt shares inspiration through a 90-day devotional that will rejuvenate your mind with scripture and your body with daily suggested herbal teas. You'll begin to see that every experience brings about a different perspective on how to view the things that are happening in our lives as we continue on our journey. Available at Amazon, your local bookstore, or at trilogy.tv.
Attacks against Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders are on the rise.
My simple solution to the problem was remove people from the scene and help them feel safer. In terms of hate crimes, I think there is so much more work to be done. We really need to come together and tackle this issue as a community.
Looking for inspiration, motivation, and the good news of Jesus Christ? Look no further. The Daily Gospel Network has what you need. With more than 300 ministries from all over the country broadcasting every week, you're sure to get your dose of spirit-filled encouragement from the great programs on the Daily Gospel Network. Catch the Daily Gospel Network on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all mobile devices, and the internet.
You are loved. You are valued. You are resilient. You got this.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides at aarp.org/caregiving.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. We are back on here with Dr. Lashawnda Shiree, you guys, who is sharing confessions from the ex-preacher's wife. I'm telling you, hey, I'm one myself, but this is so good for her to be able to come tonight and really just share with us, because sometimes I don't think that we really understand the magnitude of sometimes what goes on behind the closed door. And so, Dr. Lashawnda, so there was something else that you had mentioned in your video, and that was that a lot of times, not a lot of times, but you said that you found yourself loving that person more than you actually loved yourself. Could you expound on that just a little bit for us?
Absolutely. I began to, as God told me later, that I made him an idol. I covered the things that was going on. Instead of reaching out for help, I concealed it. And one of the reasons that I was concealing it was because I was embarrassed that what I had done was now happening to me. So to cover him, I covered me. I was really covering my pride. You know what I'm saying? And I loved him more than I loved myself, because I stayed in a situation that I could have easily left. But because of the embarrassment, I stayed. Because of the title, I stayed. Because of the fact that the world would know, I stayed. And I suffered silence.
Absolutely. That's something that I share too in an up and coming book. So You Want to Be a First Lady, that sometimes there are those ladies that do suffer in silence, whether it's that they are suffering from mental abuse, physical abuse, sexual abuse, whatever kind of abuse it is, domestic, whatever, they do oftentimes do it in silence, because they don't ever want to bring embarrassment, on the ministry, yourself, like you're sharing, bring the embarrassment on yourself. And it's like, well, who do you talk to? And so that was one of the things that you mentioned, who do you talk to? So what kept you from actually really reaching out, and why did you say that?
What kept me from reaching out to other people was when I tried at the beginning. You have to really kind of understand the mindset of somebody that's being abused. It's almost like you're suffering PTSD, and your family members and people around you, they get tired of you coming to them, crying out for help, but then you going back into a broken situation. So it's almost like I had done ended all resources. My family didn't want to get involved. My friends didn't want to get involved. So I didn't have anyone to turn to, which caused me to be isolated and to just go through that I was going through by myself until the end. God sent this woman of God along, who now I consider as my spiritual mom, to help me at the end, which where I needed the most. She walked me all the way through the entire thing, and I'm grateful for her for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We definitely have to be able to find someone, that we can share with, or to have an outlet, because the more we hold those things in, we do become stressed. We get stressed, and this is how cancer, enters in. This is how high blood pressure enters in, because you're so stressed out, you run your own blood pressure up, ain't nothing wrong with you other than the stuff that you got going on, And so, quite frankly, like you said, sometimes we don't want to share because people don't understand pretty much where we are. And then sometimes they coach you to stay there, because of an image, that we have to uphold and things like that. And so, I told someone this just the other day, a person can tell you to stay in a certain relationship or something that's going on or whatever with you, but they're not the ones that have to live that life. They're going on about their lives or whatever, because they're not in your home, they're not in the particular situation that you are in, and so it's easy for us to say, well, hey, I would do this and I would do that. Like you said, somebody had told you, I'd slap him over the head with a pan or something like that.
Exactly.
Exactly. So, there are many that will tell us what they would do, but until you've actually walked in the shoes, you really don't know what you would do.
You don't. And I found a lot of time people judged me harshly because of the sin of the affair, the breaking up of marriages. And it was almost like they were saying, you deserve it. Look at her. She's deserve that. That's what you get. That's the energy that I was getting. Maybe it was just me thinking that, but that's how people kind of embrace this, because it's taboo in the Black community for you to get a divorce anyway. You know what I'm saying? People are married, separated for years and years and years. You just don't do that. But for me to go through it and marry the person that I had the affair with, it was all over the place.
Wow. And you're definitely right, because sometimes I do think we do sit in the seat of judgment, with that. And of course, there are some things. And that's why, I believe too, with what's coming out, God just wants to be able to clean up, the body of Christ, because we can find ourselves in situations sometimes. When we do, we are all human. And so, and that's one of the reasons why too, it's something where, people will put the leaders, on a pedestal, as if they can never do anything wrong. And quite frankly, we're human just like anyone else, and so we do have trials, we do have struggles, like everyone else does, but I think that we're, kept to a higher standard than most. But at the same time, though we are these leaders, we should also be trying to live, what we're preaching and teaching and different things like that. And if you do fall, hey, yes, get back up. Do continue on, and so forth. Let's get yourself together, and everything. Let's not just keep doing the same thing. But at the end of the day, we don't want to, bash that person or, say, ha ha, that's what you get or whatever, because God is a forgiving God, He is. He's a forgiving God. He's a loving God. And so it doesn't matter how many times we've done, anything, we can go and get this right with the Father. And He forgives us for that. And so we have to be in a position to where we can walk in that same forgiveness. So I'm grateful that you were able to meet this lady that was able to come along and, share with you and help you, to be able to walk through your process, and really, rediscover, who you are, because you are beautiful. And there is some things, that you've walked through, and now you're able to share that with the world, so God brought beauty, out of all of this, that you went through, and I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. Absolutely. Well, listen, we're going to go ahead and take another commercial break, and we're going to be back with more from Dr. Lashawnda, you guys.
Attention ministry leaders. Have you ever considered growing your ministry with television? Well, the Daily Gospel Network could be what you've been looking for. As one of the nation's largest Christian broadcasting companies, the Daily Gospel Network broadcasts all over the world on popular streaming platforms like Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. If you're looking to grow and reach more people, the Daily Gospel Network could be your solution.
Looking for fun, laughter, and the best show on television that supports historically Black colleges and universities? Well, look no further. The HBCU Alumni House Party has got you covered. Hosted by none other than Anthony Brown. The HBCU Alumni House Party uplifts, talks about, and reports all things HBCU. Great guests, great subject matter, and lots of fun. You can find the HBCU Alumni House Party on the Daily Gospel Network at 6:30 p.m. on Sundays, the Daily Gospel Network International Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern, and the Daily Gospel Network Plus at 4:30 p.m. on Thursdays, all on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
There's nothing better than being inspired and renewed daily by the power of God. In Morning Tea with the King, author Tish Barnhardt shares inspiration through a 90-day devotional that will rejuvenate your mind with scripture and your body with daily suggested herbal teas. You'll begin to see that every experience brings about a different perspective on how to view the things that are happening in our lives as we continue on our journey. Available at Amazon, your local bookstore, or at trilogy.tv.
Being a father is an honor, a challenge, a duty, a celebration, and a testimony. I want to be legendary for you. I walk taller because of you, because I found everything to live for.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody, with more of Dr. Lashawnda Shiree today. I'm telling you, I'm so excited and grateful for you coming on and really sharing in great transparency today your story of living, in through domestic violence and, of course, the affairs and different things, that you've had. And another question that I have for you before we leave here tonight is you had mentioned in your video, you said that there was a wise woman who told you you wanted my shoes, but you didn't realize the coins that it was going to cost. Can you share with us about that moment?
Oh my God. It was after my ex-husband had given me the paperwork for the divorce. And the whole time doing the marriage, his ex-wife was the epitome of a Christian to me. She was always nice to me. She was always kind. And the following week, she gave me a phone call. She's the wise woman. And she said, the whole time you wanted my shoe, but you didn't know the coins that was on my toe. You didn't know the things that I had to go through. All you seen was the top layer of what you thought was beautiful, but you didn't know. And what that meant to me was you should have left that lady teddy bear on that trash pile and tend to your own business. When the old people, grass ain't green on the other side, I'm a witness. It's not. You can do more by watering your own brown grass than going over in somebody else's lawn messing with their grass. Because see, she knew how to do her grass or weeds or shoe. She knew how to handle all of that. I didn't. I just on surface when she knew everything that was underneath. So I learned a valuable lesson from her. Don't always accept things from face value. And when somebody tells you something, listen to what people are saying to you concerning people. It's not that you've been judgmental, but see, she knew those fruit on that tree than I did.
Right.
I was presented an apple, but she knew about all the apples and pears that fell on the ground. She knew. And I got what I asked for. I did.
Wow. That's some good stuff right there. That is some good stuff. And I'm so glad, that you said that today, because oftentimes we can see the glamour, the fame, or what looks good and things like that. And so you're driven to it, or one may be driven to that, and they desire that lifestyle. Was there ever a moment where you might have felt like you could be a better first lady, or you could do better than she could, with her man? Or what, did you ever have those thoughts, that drove you there?
Yes. I felt like this wasn't going to happen to me. Her story will not be my story, because I'm going to love him more than she does. I'm going to have sex more than she does. Together we had 10 kids. He had 8, I had 2. We had another one. So he had 7, I had with 3. So I'm gonna take kids better than she did. I'm gonna do everything better than she did. So we're not gonna have these same problems that you had, lady. That's what I'm thinking. But in all actuality, I got a broken person. I was a broken person that attracted another broken person.
There we go.
I couldn't fix him. God had to help myself. You know what I'm saying? Me. I question. There was nothing that I can do. You can't help nobody that want to be helped.
That's so true, and you said a powerful thing there. You attracted a broken person. And I think oftentimes in relationships, we see that, we're thinking that, things are going to be better, and hey, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And, oh, this is not going to happen to me. And I can do, blah, 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 that she's not doing, whatever, because they see the flaws sometimes, especially if those people are close to you, they may, see some of the struggles and different things that you go through, and they think they can just walk right in and fix things. Well, honey, that's not true. You may not be able to walk in and fix this, because if that person is broken, then listen, unless they're healed, they're going to just continue to repeat the same cycle. And that's why you experience the same thing, even though you got what you quote unquote wanted, you got what you didn't want. And so now you had to live out that process, and thankfully, God has graced you and really healed you. And so now you're able to come forth and really share, your story with the world. And I really, really commend you for doing that. And I'm so grateful that you, shared with us tonight. And so, Dr. Lashawnda, please tell us, where we can find your material from. You have written a book, several books. You've got several different things going on. So you guys, I want you to really check out Dr. Lashawnda. Okay. She's got about 4 or 5 books, that you guys can glean from and learn from, and I think some courses too. And look, her face is very beach, you guys, makeup line and lipstick, and stuff. So please share with us where we can find you.
You can find me on my website, www.LaShawndaShiree.info. And I just want to say briefly, since then, you guys, I've been remarried. The shirt I got on is part of me and my husband, David Hassan Love t-shirt line. You need to order it. But you can go to my website. If you need to call me, you can at 334-232-9281, or just email me at LaShawndaShiree@gmail.com. I'm reachable, I'm touchable, and I'm here for whatever you need.
All right, you guys, there you have it. Dr. Lashawnda Shiree with all this stuff going on. Again, I'm so grateful, that you decided to share with us tonight. And we're just going to take another brief commercial, and we'll be back in a moment.
For those of us raised in the church, the life of a first lady looks glamorous. She is always out front with her husband, and people admire her in every way imaginable. The notoriety, fame, and fortune of these men can be intoxicating to those who do not have it, and some will do anything to achieve it. Little do they know that the real life of a first lady is far from perfect. Pre-order your copy today at www.tishbarnhardt.com.
Hey, welcome back, you guys. Listen, I hope you enjoyed that commercial there. This is going to be the up and coming release that I'm going to be having here with So You Want to Be a First Lady. And so I'm telling you, Dr. Lashawnda, this was just so on point tonight and just goes right along, with, hey, what's coming up, in the future here, the near future rather, with my up and coming book, So You Want to Be a First Lady. And so I really appreciate you just sharing your testimony tonight, because these are some of the things that, you're going to see. And So You Want to Be a First Lady. God is going to be giving us some wisdom nuggets, that we can follow as well for our pastor, for the first lady, and also for the other women, and so forth. And God gave me that book many years ago, many years ago, probably 20 years ago. I still have the same book that I wrote it in that long ago. But, God always knows, what he's doing and what he's going to have you to do. And so again, thank you so much, tonight for coming on. And, I want you guys to go and pre-order the book. You can go to www.tishbarnhardt.com. That's where you can find the book at. And so they're on sale right now for $12.99. And guess what, you guys? For those of you that order or pre-order your book now, you're going to be invited to a private listening party with the author. Who's that? Me, Tish Barnhardt. So you are going to be able to hear the first chapter of the book read. So again, I want you to go to www.tishbarnhardt.com and get your order in already for So You Want to Be a First Lady. I don't know. Do you really want to be one, or do you not? I mean, after we've heard some of what Dr. Lashawnda had to tell us today, I don't know. You might want to rethink that. I don't know. But you know what? There are some very good leaders and pastors out there that are really, really doing a wonderful job in the kingdom. And so I want you to know that So You Want to Be a First Lady is not about bashing anyone. It is about giving some truth, and also, just bringing some nuggets that we can take a look at, that we can glean from. And actually some of the things that Dr. Lashawnda shared with us tonight as well in our walk with the Lord. And so listen, thank you all so much for tuning in with us tonight. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you on next week on the Tish Barnhardt Show. God bless you, everybody. Bye now.
Looking for inspiration, motivation, and the good news of Jesus Christ? Look no further. The Daily Gospel Network has what you need. With more than 300 ministries from all over the country broadcasting every week, you're sure to get your dose of spirit-filled encouragement from the great programs on the Daily Gospel Network. Catch the Daily Gospel Network on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, all mobile devices, and the internet.
Thanks for tuning in to the Tish Barnhardt Show. We pray that you were motivated, inspired, and blessed. Tune in next week for another great segment as we bring you thought-provoking topics, great guests, and tons of encouragement. Until next time, remember, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.